let's move on. Let's have a look at some XG and XA, Josh. Let's cheer ourselves up with some high scorers, high performers.
Let's do that. Yeah. So same format as last week. We've got the top 3 XG and the top 3 XA performers from the last 5 game weeks. We have been starting with the XG, so let's keep going with that. Third spot, Jack, we've got a new entry, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, first time we've seen him this year in any of our XG ranks. Who is it?
Yeah, and you know what? It's great to see him back. It's Pierre, Emerick, Aubameyang, the P himself, coming back with 3.04 XG from 5 game weeks, 3 goals scored, 1 assist. Is he back? I mean, I wouldn't say he's back to his gang-busting best, because that season he was up there with Salah, toe-to-toe with Salah and Mane as must-own property, wasn't he, really? But it is great to see him. It's great to see him happy, I would say. He actually looks happy on the pitch. And he's one we should all be looking at, I think. What do you think about the P?
I mean, you can't ignore him. I think he's kind of snuck into half of, or partly into the conversations we've had about, premiums and who should you be thinking about, or who could you look at. We're starting to see, we're seeing him here, scored 3 goals in the last 5. Like, he is in the conversation. And I think it comes down to, do you want to jump on him this early and be proactive, or do you want to kind of wait a little bit and see what that turns into? They've got Watford this week, so it's that's not a potential time to roll the dice. But then they've got Liverpool the week after, then Newcastle, so it's like a up and down. I don't know. You can kind of, you want him for next week, you don't want him for game week 12, you want him again for game week 13. But with these kind of choices, you just got to roll the dice sometimes. So I personally won't be. I mean, a Vardy to Aubameyang move seems a quite obvious one in some places. A lot of people did the Lukaku to Vardy, didn't they? So, but I'm probably going to be keeping with Vardy because I think it's just much for muchness, moving.
Bit sideways.
Yeah.
Bit sideways. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a bit more up on Aubameyang than you. I guess just a question on a couple of things you said there. I mean, I think now we're living in the age of, it's a barren wasteland of strikers suddenly, like complete opposite of what it was at the start of the season. I think, I think Vardy is flattering to deceive a little bit. Antonio's blanking, which we'll come on to. Tony's not doing it. Danny Ings is injured. Bamford's injured. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's injured. So I think, and you said he's in the conversation, but weirdly, I feel like he's not in the conversation in sort of conversations that I've seen about strikers, and I think he's gone under the radar quite a lot. Aubameyang. I mean, what's his team selected by percentage at the moment? Let me have a look. I mean, the differential 11, Josh, are going to be looking at this guy if he's under 5%. But
5.2.
5.2, so he's just out of bounds for differential 11, but that's still amazingly low, isn't it? And as a Kane owner, I'm sort of, after that weekend, I'm like, well, that was the wrong move, wasn't it? But yeah, 9.9, much cheaper than the Kanes and Lukaku's. He's in the annoying midway point of not quite a mid-price, not quite a premium. But yeah, I like Aubameyang. I like him. Arsenal, week by week, are just getting better and better, I think. And maybe it's time for the P train to jump aboard. The gravy train. P spoon with a P on it. I don't know. Cut that bit out. So yeah, that's Aubameyang. I think good. You're still, I feel like you're still a bit wait and see.
And that matches our characters. I'm play it safe. You're a little bit,
more risky. Trying to say. Some would say risky. Some would say reckless.
Yeah.
Some would say reckless, thoughtless.
So if you want to be reckless, bring in Aubameyang.
Fair. Who's in at number 2, Josh?
It's our beloved Bobby Firmino.
Bobby.
And he's coming in at 3.05 XG, 3 goals, 1 assist, matching Aubameyang's stats, but having only played 292 minutes compared to Aubameyang's 433. So a lot less minutes, but a much greater return. What are you thinking, Jack? I'm a Liverpool fan, so I'm going to sit on the fence a little bit here. I love Bobby, but we know historically there's doubts around his minutes versus Jota. Are you interested in him?
Oh yeah, I respect Bobby. What a great player. But for me, it's two things with him. Main one that you said, it's his minutes. So you just don't know. And it looks like Mane is kind of in the mix now with this three-way between Firmino, Jota, and Mane of who's going to play. Salah's the only one locked in, I feel, in that front three now. So it's that, and it's he takes up a Liverpool spot for me. So it does mean if you go with him, you can't really have the Jota and the Mane and the Trent. You need to have, and I think we're in broad agreement that Salah and Trent are the main men. So him being a forward, him being a striker in the game makes him less appealing than a Jota and a Mane to me. And his price, what is he, 8 million or something? What's he sitting at? 8.9 mil. So again, he's not Jota bargain basement levels. So it's a bit more frustrating when you see him benched over Jota because you can kind of absorb it with Jota's price a bit more. So it feels strange to really big up Aubameyang, who's on a worse team, who's more expensive and has got the same stats, but with more minutes. It feels a bit counterintuitive to be singing Aubameyang's praises and saying Firmino's an avoid. But I just think Aubameyang will start every game. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe he's a good buy. What do you think? Okay, what do you think? Buy or no buy?
Just not a buy for me. Just buy.
No.
Just knowing that he will get points, but because of the roulette of minutes, and as you said, the rotation of those front three spots, for which three players are fighting for two of them because the Salah's locked in. You'll again roll it. It's much like many City assets. You're rolling the dice on having him and playing him when he performs well. Can you afford nearly 9 million to have someone who's potentially not going to play or come on for 20 minutes or 15 minutes, etc.? And the other thing is what we've seen in recent seasons is he's just not as prolific as, the Manes or Salahs. Definitely not the Salahs, but even Mane and Abagia outscores Bobby. So, and we saw in the game on the weekend, he was put through and just skied it. Like there are games where his confidence is sky high and he looks like he can do everything, and then there are most games his finishing doesn't look quite top tier.
I was going to say, I feel like he's sort of put to bed a bit that last season it was really bad, wasn't it? It was so noticeably awful, his finishing. And people were jumping on him as a number 9 for Liverpool. You need to be scoring more. But I feel like this season he's gotten better at it. That game he scored a hat-trick the other week, I thought his finishing was really good. But you're right, there's always that lingering doubt. And as you say, Mane, I feel better having Mane in my team than I do than I would Firmino, even at Mane's price. But I would say that it's maybe a bit unfair to put him in the bracket to put him and Jota in the Man City rotation bracket, because at least one of them will play. Like with City, it's like 3 of 8 of them are going to play, and 4 or 5 aren't. So I don't think it's that drastic, but it's not. There's just not quite enough there. Is there with Firmino to make you want to jump on him, even in this striker drought that we're going through?
Too much risk, yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby.
But the number 1 spot has already been mentioned just in that conversation. Mohamed Salah, Jack.
No.
He's ever present. 450 minutes, an XG of 4.12, 6 goals, 4 assists in the last 5 games.
Mad numbers, isn't it? He's head and shoulders above any other player in the Premier League at the moment. And even though he disappointed us this week with just an assist return, which, yeah, very disappointing. Did he have a goal disallowed like Mane did? Maybe not. Was he through on goal at one point? I thought he put it in the net. Maybe not. But what more can we say? Is he still a perma captain for you at the moment?
Yeah, I think until we see anything otherwise, he's still returned, didn't he? Like, he's just incredible at the moment. And I don't think 1 week where he only got an assist affects really that much our confidence in the next game week, for example. So West Ham, a bit of a trickier game this week, but Liverpool still look good in an attacking sense, and he is at the forefront of that. So I will be putting the armband on him.
Yep, same. We've done Salah to death, and he's always in these bloody charts.
Exactly.
We almost need to
Discuss him
change the
every week.
metric so somehow he's not, but it says it all that he's been top of the XG for a long time now, a long time.
But that's the XGs.
Yeah.
Onto the XAs.
Yeah.
Third spot. He retains a spot in the top 3. We saw him last week. Yuri Tielemans, Jack. So 1.69 XA, 2 goals, 1 assist in the last 5. Are you interested in him from a goal scoring and, kind of creative playing perspective?
We said it still stands what we said last week, I think, on him. That great player, could be in any team in the real life. You'd want him in your team. And watching that Arsenal game on Friday, he was Leicester's best player still, I thought. He put some chance on a plate for Harvey Barnes, who should have done better. So, yeah, creatively, he is brilliant. And as Maddison has fallen off, he's kind of stepped up to be their main creator, I think. So it's still something about him that I just don't think his 2 goals have been too worldies, like we said. I just think Leicester aren't convincing enough at the moment to warrant his inclusion ahead of some of the other midfield options. So yeah, it's keep an eye on him, watch list him, but I'm not worried about not having him. Put it that way. How do you feel?
Agree. Discussed it last week, didn't we? He is going to have a lot of key passes in the Leicester games, but can we afford to be prioritizing players just for their assist points? Probably not. And especially when they're not through the roof. He's only had 1 assist in the last 5. So yeah, he is going to be great and he will get points, but I don't think he's hot enough property for us to be really shouting from the rooftops about picking him. So yeah, same as last week. Same applies.
Yeah. See you, Tealers. Keep going well though. Happy for you. Seems like a nice guy, doesn't he? Well done, Tealy. Yeah. Well done, mate. Who's next for the XA, Josh?
Number 2, someone who, dare we say it, has avoided the pep roulette recently. Bernardo Silva, 450 minutes, the same as Tielemans, the same as the Salahs.
Played every game
in the last 5 game weeks. 1.76 XA, 1 goal, 1 assist. Well, I know we say stay away from the pep roulette, the City kind of doubts, but if you had to pick one midfield or attacking asset, would P be in the conversation for you?
I mean, yeah, if you had to pick one, it's him or Foden, I think. But I mean, we say he's not involved in the pep roulette, but I feel like that's akin to saying if you go to the roulette table and it hits red every time, saying, oh, well, red's not in the roulette anymore. It's just going to guarantee to be red, when actually the next roll, even though it's been red 5 times, it's still 50-50 the next roll, Josh, as maths tells
0.
us. So even with that City, even with the City, with him playing 5 games in a row, we were there with Grealish at the start of the season. He did that, suddenly benched out of nowhere. We've been there with Mahrez. We've been there with Foden. Currently, we're there with Bernardo. He could just be benched next game. Would it surprise any of us if that team sheet came out and he wasn't on it? No. And so therefore you're going to be sweating every week. It's not worth it. He's not going crazy with these numbers. 1 goal, 1 assist. He's a quality player, we all know. But yeah, I'm not. None of them at the moment, those City players, are so good when they're playing that you want to warrant the rotation risk, are they? They're not. None of them are scoring every game. So they almost have to be at a crazy level. They have to be pushing Salah levels of returns for you to warrant that inclusion in your team. So like I've got Mane in my team because even though I concede that he's now maybe part of that rotation with Jota and Firmino, he's so good. Like he's the second highest midfielder in the game now after Salah. So I know that when he does play, he's very, very likely to return. Whereas I don't think you can quite say that for any of these City assets at the moment, the form they're in. What do you think? Sorry, I rambled there. What do you think about Bernardo?
You said it. I think we've 1 goal, 1 assist in the last 5, despite his XA being something to look at. He's not been getting the points for us to say, yeah, you got to bring him in. There are other options where you could have more certainty over the long term. because you don't want to have a player in now that you may have to worry about in 3 game weeks or whatever because of the rotation. And City just have a thing about sharing points between their players. You know, it's hard every season, isn't it? They have so many points that they score because of their attacking returns and clean sheets, but they're shared across just a bigger pool of players because they've got so many great assets. And I think you mentioned this before, isn't it? Like Harrison was the highest scoring midfielder from last season for them because he played for Leeds, didn't he? Because he had those consistent minutes. So yeah, same applies.
Minutes are king. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's come back to him when he's played 10 in a row. I'll be amazed if he gets there. Yeah. And then we can talk. But till then, don't want to talk about him.
No.
Who, Josh, is top of the XA charts?
It's another familiar name. It's Mohamed Salah again.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Can I just say, Josh, where this is quite a momentous moment. He's not. It's a shock that he's not number 1, but it's a bigger shock he's not in the top 3. Former champ Ivan Toney. Where is he?
He's number 4.
He's number 4. He's fallen out.
He has fallen out.
The podium. Shame, Ivan.
Yeah, he's been there for quite a long time, ever present. We'll probably send him like a T-shirt or something, I guess.
Yeah. Shame. I mean, yeah, we don't need to say anything more about Salah, do we? He's selfishly topped both charts. So, yeah, get him in, captain him, and worry about the rest of your team.
Done, diddly done.
Done and dusted.
So, yeah, that's XA and XG top performers. I think we take a quick break now, and then we'll come over to the quickfire questions.
Yeah, sure.
Lovely. All right, back in a sec.